Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. We'll see how the internet holds up. The computer went down twice last night, which then caused the printer to reboot and wake me up. Good morning, good morning. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist, here with your early morning intuitive guidance to give us something to think about and talk about today. Excuse me, a little bit of a frog here. So, our card for today comes from the Virtues Reflection Cards by the Virtues Project. Good morning to whomever popped on. Glad you are here. And oftentimes, it's Cindy. Good morning, good morning. Oftentimes I see decks pop up for a series of days and then they kind of fade back. And good morning, Carolyn. Welcome, welcome. They kind of fade back, and then every once in a while I'll go, oh yeah, that deck. Let's take a card from that one. Good morning, Terry. Welcome. Glad you are here. Got Virtues Reflection cards for today, and we have a really good card, and I am so impressed with this card in terms of the breadth to which they went to describe this word instead of just giving the traditional explanation that we all kind of think of when we hear this word. They really mined it for all it's worth. They dug deep. And so that's my hope for all of us too, that we will dig deep with this card, because I think it offers us a lot of opportunity for growth. So our card for today is honesty. Honesty. Feeling your toes curl yet? You may. So a couple of nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just settling in, shaking off the night, ready for some thoughtful words here. Honesty is being truthful, sincere, open, and genuine. We are content and confident to be ourselves. Good morning, Larissa. Welcome to our YEMIG for today. We have honesty. Honesty. We see ourselves and others with unclouded eyes. I think that's a huge one for right now. Most of us having spent some time with family over the Thanksgiving holiday and or setting up to do so for the Christmas holiday or whatever you celebrate in this time of year. And oftentimes it's very easy to look through clouded lenses from the past that don't help us have good relationships in the here and now. So let's see what we can do with that. We do not exaggerate to impress others. We refuse to lie, cheat, or take what is not ours. And I think for some people, we've got to work on what kind of thought process, mental gymnastics do we do that sets us up to think that some of that stuff is okay. Well, it's just a little white lie, or I'm going to get this when so-and-so passes away anyway, so I may as well take it now. And all this weird stuff that people do without really taking a good look at it. What is my motive here? Why am I doing this? What is this about? Really looking at it. Good morning, Joe. Welcome, welcome. We strive to keep our promises. And when we do that, what you probably will find is you promise less. Because if you know that you're uncertain you can follow through, you aren't willing to make the promise on the front end, which I think is a good thing. Then people don't end up disappointed. Sometimes they end up disappointed because we made the promise in good faith and we couldn't follow through, but that ends up being a rarity when we have discernment about making promises. As we recognize illusions and self-deceptions, we gently let them go. That's my favorite line out of this whole card. As we recognize illusions and self-deceptions, we gently let them go. So what are you telling yourself about you that may not be accurate? That may not be accurate. It might be designed to make you feel a little better, but it doesn't really dig deep into what's going on there. And I can think of one for all of us, and definitely for corporate America, when we make promises and donations and do a little bit, but that little bit is tinged with, then I don't have to do more. I'm doing it enough, just enough. But we need to be honest with that stuff. Because again, so like let's talk about global warming. That is not going to go away because I recycle one plastic bottle. We need to be thinking bigger, and we need to be holding accountable those who are really fundamentally responsible for the bulk of the harm that's being done. Fossil fuel industry for one. So we can do those little things that make us feel kind of good, but it lets us off the hook for doing the things that are uncomfortable, holding corporations accountable, etc., when really we can do all of those things. We really can. It's okay to do hard things. I thank, okay, what's her name? Glennon Doyle for that. We can do hard things. We can do hard things. So where are we creating self-deception that allows us to feel we're more palatable to us? Good morning, Shirley. As opposed to really taking the good, honest look at, yeah, I'm not really stepping up there. I'm not really meeting what would be good guidelines for me to meet in my own head. In my own head. Yeah, other people can try to set guidelines for us, but really it's, am I doing what I am capable of doing with regard to X, Y, or Z? Okay? We admit mistakes even when we know someone may be disappointed or angry. And my favorite story about that is walking in the back door after a very long day of work, and there's boots and backpacks and coats and right inside the door. And I bellowed, "Whose stuff is this?" And my son Logan said, "That'd be me." Took all the wind out of the sails. Well, come and pick it up. Get it out of the runway. Because he owned responsibility for what he had done, walked in, dumped everything, it allowed me to then move forward in a less head swivel, pea soup flying kind of way. Also, I think from an ego perspective, many of us have a hard time admitting difficulties, problems, weakness, mistakes, etc., when we believe or we know there's someone out there who's going to sit in judgment of us. So I'm just going to make one up here. Let's say our boss is someone who's highly critical of us and we screw something up and he or she asks us about it. The temptation may be to try to gloss it over, not pretend like it wasn't us, whatever, but to actually own it, even when that person is going to have a reaction to it that doesn't feel good to us, is really an empowering thing. Because what we're saying there is, I'm not letting my ego get in my way of owning my stuff, and I'm not letting that person's negative behavior, reaction, etc., get in the way of me owning my own stuff. We heal old messages that tell us we are less than worthy, and that would tie right in there, wouldn't it? We stand strong knowing that we have true value in being who we are. Yes, we are of value exactly as we are, warts and all, as my friend Deb would say. We're divinely perfect. Humanly, we can be a hot mess, but we are divinely perfect, and to claim that, to own that, is really powerful and healing. So our quote is from William Shakespeare. "Honesty is the best policy. If I lose mine honor, I lose myself." Yep. So be honest. Be real. Yes, sometimes there's not great consequences with that, but I think it's the cleanest thing we can do for ourselves. So the practice of honesty. Here are the I statements. You can pick one out to run with for the day. I am open and transparent. I am open and transparent. I say what I mean and mean what I say. I say what I mean and mean what I say. I only make promises I can keep. And again, there's always that element in there of we can't predict the future, etc. But to the best of our ability, we only make promises we can keep. Continually seek to know the truth. I continually seek to know the truth, especially my truth, truth with a little t. That's an important thing. And to own that and to claim that. Well, here's where I'm coming from on that. Just putting it out there. I have the humility to admit mistakes. Yep, I did that. I screwed that up. I'm sorry. I'll rectify what I can. I am happy and content to be myself. Not all of that striving, striving, striving stuff. There was a great meme that went around about Thanksgiving where on the left-hand side it was the list of all of the things we tell ourselves. And then on the right-hand side, it was actually a logical, compassionate, reasonable statement about that. Like, well, I'm going to eat Thanksgiving dinner and I'll diet tomorrow. And the comment was something like, your value doesn't come from what you eat, etc. You have inherent value. If you have a food day, you have a food day. It's not that big a hairy deal. What are you doing to take good care of yourself kind of statements, all right? I am thankful for the gift of honesty. It allows me to be fully myself. And that part right there, it allows me to be fully myself. When we're denying aspects of ourselves, when we won't own that we're jealous or upset or frustrated or feeling sad or whatever, we're shoving away a part of ourselves. When we can own that, and yes, sometimes that's difficult because people think they have to fix it or whatever, but you can preface your statements with that. I don't need you to fix it. I just need to let you know that I'm feeling sad today. Good morning, Beth. Welcome. Glad you're here. We are doing honesty today. So again, I like this card because of how far beyond the basic definition they went with their description. And there's so many aspects of honesty. I love that. And again, my favorite line is, as we recognize illusions and self-deceptions, we gently let them go. Good morning, Lisa. Welcome, welcome. As we recognize illusions and self-deceptions, we gently let them go. So again, my favorite question for coaching clients with regard to that is, what are you pretending not to know? What are you pretending not to know? You know it on some level, but you don't quite want to deal with it, so you're just going to kind of avert your eyes, whatever. What are you pretending not to know? Gently, kindly, lovingly face that. Carolyn, seeing the world with unclouded eyes. Yes, know your own truth. Know your own truth and share your own truth, either when invited to or when you feel like it's important for you to speak your truth. And do so without attachment to the outcome. If that person chooses not to listen to you, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Sometimes I'll even ask, would you like to hear my opinion on that? And I've had people say no. So be it. All right, well then I'm gonna go do something else. That's where some people are at. But even saying out loud, would you like to hear my opinion on that, offers the opportunity. Perhaps they come back later and say, okay, tell me what you think. I might then take another step and say, okay, are you really open to hearing what I have to say? Doesn't mean you have to change anything. Just means I want to get my perspective out there on the table because I think it has value. Are you really open to hearing what I have to say? I'd rather have them be open than disgruntled and already ready to reject it and whatever. I might choose not to share at that point. We'll see. So, honesty. Your mission for today is practicing honesty. Mainly honesty with yourself. But sometimes it'll come up about honesty with other people. And let's just see what you notice with that. Have an awesome day. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.